As some of you have requested more Cooking with Denoy episodes, I thought I would go ahead and do another one here for you. I'm currently back at Walter's house, and thought I would cook up some noodles. Wanted to just, make the ramen noodles here that I normally make. But this time, I'm going to go ahead and include the boiled eggs, because a lot of viewers suggested I should use boiled eggs, and normally we do. We put boiled eggs into the noodles. I'm going to show you how I do it. But basically, I'm boiling the eggs right now, and as you can see, it takes a while to boil eggs, which is why I normally don't boil eggs for my noodles, especially when I'm cooking it inside the van, because then you have to boil the eggs. But an idea is this: you could conceivably boil a whole bunch of eggs all at once, then store them for later use, and that might be actually something worth considering, because eggs are fairly cheap and a very good nutritious source for protein. So if you don't have meat, you could use eggs, or even if you have meat, you can use eggs. So it may be worth boiling a whole bunch of eggs and just storing them, and using them later. The other thing that we're going to be doing once the eggs get boiled there is I am going to heat up this pot with some water in it, and I'm planning on using 2 of these noodle packets. And I have some ham here that I've saved from a big chunk of ham that I bought and cut up. And I'm just going to throw that in and let it boil. And for my greens that I'll be adding, I just bought this premium romaine salad from Walmart that I'll be tossing in there. Not truly Asian, but not bad. And you know what? Looking at this, I think I need to add some onions. So I'm going to check to see if I have some onions, and we'll chop that up and get that ready to go as well. Meh. No onions available. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and boil this water. I'm just going to turn on the heat here, set it on high, and let it start to boil, because the eggs are boiling right now. They've been boiling for a couple minutes. I forget how long you're supposed to boil an egg for it to cook, but I'll just let it boil, because I want to make sure it's fully cooked. While that's boiling, this water's heating up, I'll be tossing in these noodles and the veggies. It's been a few more minutes, and you can see the water here is starting to boil. I think it takes about like 3 minutes or so maybe for water to boil. So I'm pretty sure that these eggs are done. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat for the boiled eggs. Done or not, we're going to use them. So we're just going to let that continue to cool down a little bit while we let this boil. And I'll stir up the noodles, add everything, and we should be all set. As you can see, I've got the ham here, if it'll focus. There we go. I got the ham that I split up using a fork into little pieces. And I'm just going to toss it into this. Let me go ahead and stir up the noodles a little bit here and mix it up. Because only one bag is cooked. The other one's still a little bit hard here. So the water, I don't know if you know this, but these noodles are already cooked. All you're doing is just kind of wetting it and heating it up so it kind of thaws out and becomes noodles again instead of this hard thing. I'm going to go ahead and put in the ham there. And this ham I hadn't pre-cooked, even though they had kind of partially cooked it. We'll let this heat cook it up a little bit more. The way the ham is fully done. And it is a little bit salty already, so I don't know how much more seasoning we're going to need. I did bring a little bit of fish sauce and some lemon, and also some crushed peppers. So I don't have any fresh peppers, sadly. So this is boiling right now. We're just cooking it up, and I'm just going to simply toss in the salad here, part of the salad, and the meal's like pretty much done, other than the eggs, which we need to bust open and cut up into slices and put in on our final serving. Hang on, stay tuned. It's been less than a minute, and as you can see, I've tossed in the salad. Doesn't that look a lot prettier now that I've done that? And the food's like pretty much done, This is how easy it is to make this stuff. So I've turned off the heat, and I'm just letting it cool down a little bit, letting the noodles absorb the water. And we're going to add the seasoning packet, which some people may choose to opt out of because this is like a lot of sodium. It says chicken flavor, even though I got not pork, yeah, it is pork, I guess ham is pork, right? Ham in there. But I'm going to add some of this chicken flavoring, and believe it or not, I'm not going to use the whole packet. I'm planning on only using half of the packet for the entire thing, even though we got 2 packets 2 whole things of noodles. We're only going to use half a packet of this. The reason is we're going to add some fish sauce and some lemon to the flavoring. So let me get the packet here open and put it in there. Okay, it's just how I season it. I just opened up, ripped a little bit, and I'm just going to pour it out. Just sprinkle it in there, and then we're going to mix it up. Makes everything taste so much better. But, you know, I think it's salt. I think humans crave salt, for the most part. It looks like about half, maybe a little bit more for half. Alright, I still have some left in here. I don't want to use the whole packet, so we're going to get rid of that packet and mix this up really well. Doesn't that already look good? I think I might have let the water soak in a little too long. But the food's essentially done now at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop it up for the serving, and we're going to bust the egg and put it in there in just a moment and show you what serving looks like. It would appear I didn't use enough water. The noodles have sopped up all the liquid. So it's a little dry, but that's alright. Still good. We're going to bust the egg now and put that on here to serve and season it, and we should be all set. To bust the eggs open, I'm actually going to cool it down a little bit by pouring it into here. You know, getting rid of the hot water. And we'll just put in some cold water, because this is going to be super hot. But for those of you who keep saying I should add eggs, this is why when you see me cooking it, even at the house or in the van, I normally don't add the eggs. And the reason is this: you have to boil the eggs and you have to bust it, which I'm going to do right now. Let's see if let it cool down. A little bit more cold water in here. So you have to crack the eggs, then you have to cut it and do all sorts of other fancy stuff. Not really fancy, but you know. So we're going to let all this water out here. Okay. And we have our eggs. And it looks like it's fully cooked, right? Not running, at least. So I'm just going to bust it. And let me peel the eggs. You can see I've removed the eggshell now. Well, most of it. I can still see some on here. So you got to remove the eggshell. Then what you do is you actually slice up the eggs into little, like coins almost, you know. You're slicing it to prepare it to be put onto the food, which I'm going to do right now here. Matter of fact, I need to rinse all this off because it had ham in it that might not have been fully cooked. Here we have the eggs all sliced. I use the Heslip Pro Fillet knife here. super sharp to cut the eggs here into thin little slices here. And they were cooked pretty much perfectly. Maybe a little bit more could have been cooked there, but that's okay. Now normally for something like this, you would put like 1 or 2 eggs in there, you know, slices. But if you're doing it by yourself, you have to use a whole egg. And in this case, I used 2 eggs, which might be overkill. But I wanted to make sure I got really full with this dinner. So 2 eggs is fine. And even though it's still a little bit kind of raw-ish there, not fully hard-boiled, I think it's good enough. We're going to go ahead and toss it into our food and season it to taste. As you can see, this is like way too much. It's overkill on the eggs. But, oh well. Let me mix it up a little bit. Then maybe it won't look like so much, you know? If I hide some of the eggs, maybe it'll look a little bit more appetizing. Otherwise, it look like nothing but eggs. But look at that. Doesn't that look good? It's kind of dried itself, so it's becoming like what is it, lo mein? Yeah, instead of ramen. It's becoming like lo mein. So, what I'm going to do now is put in some of this pepper. Because, you know, I love my peppers. Now, like I said, normally there's more liquid in here, and I could have added more water, but I'm like, who cares? You know, I'll just eat it kind of like ramen. And then I'm just going to put some fish sauce here. And sprinkle that a little bit on everything. Not too much, because it's already got a lot of salt in it. And then squeeze a little bit of lemon. Apparently I have to punch this hole. Alrighty, we got our hole punched. We're going to squeeze lemon there. And now we're just going to mix everything up. And voila! Dinner is served. So I've mixed everything up. And it may not look like the best looking meal, but man, I'm salivating because I'm really, really hungry. And like I said, normally there's liquid here. You normally have more water than this. I didn't use enough water for 2 packets of noodles. But let's go ahead and have a taste test and see what it tastes like. Let's get a big scoop with eggs. Doesn't that look good? Probably look a lot better if it was in focus. Alright, and a little bit egg, a little bit of noodles, and some greens. Let's taste this. Oh, this is some good stuff here. And yes, the eggs do make it taste a lot better. So if you're cooking it at your house, you have a little bit of time, it may be worth boiling the eggs to do this meal right. But if you're cooking in your van, trying to have the eggs ready to go might be a little bit harder. Unless, of course, you pre-boil eggs and just save them. And, I sliced the eggs. You could have just tossed them in whole and just mix it up. But this is really good. Until next time, everybody, bon appetit, good eating, take care now.